Well, it's nice to dumbfound people a little bit. And besides that, I mean, anybody who, if you can read me like a book, then there's no point in talking to me, is there? But nevertheless, Pictures at 11 was a cluttered record. There was just a bit too much going on here and there. And
you mean arrangement-wise and
just what went on to the 24 tracks. You know, there are times, and I made it my business with Principle of Moments to make those times more frequent when the spaces are more important than what's been stated, you know.
I mean, I get some of Mark Knopfler's playing in Robbie's playing.
Well, Robbie's always played like that, you know, primarily. He's always been a light, gentle player, and so is Mark. I mean, that's about it. But Robbie listens to a lot of Spanish stuff, as you can see. Yeah, he's a delicate player, and he's a good foil after working with Jimmy for so long.
Yeah, right.
But there are idiots who go, "Oh, he sounds just like Jimmy Page," and I wonder why on earth.
I have no idea.
I bother to even do anything when people say things like that. I started off doing Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry and Little Walter songs before I'd written anything, so writing is a part of musical expression, but playing is the consummation of all that. And to do that, the variety of material had to be over a 2-album period. It couldn't be complacent. It had to be pretty emphatically different, so that my purpose was achieved. But had it not been, I would have shelved the tapes and just kept on working, yeah, in the studio. I mean, I couldn't come over here with 250 versions of Burning Down One Side. You know, otherwise I might as well have done Black Dog or something like that, because there wouldn't have been any variety in what I was doing. But right now, the candle is being held to the devil. We're okay. Not really. I think by the time we got to House of the Holy, in fact Physical Graffiti, all the way down there was a conscientious air about Jimmy's work and Jimmy's catalytic efforts to get everybody moving one way or another. And it's remarkable that we kept it going for as many records as we did, you know. Really, there wasn't one record that had anything to do with the one before,
no,
really.
Exactly.
And that's of great credit when there are so many artists who will unconsciously rest on their laurels and say, this is it, and this is the way it must be, or this is the only way we know it, you know. So, I mean, it was always complacent. No, I think we probably grew up together, and as we grew up, things like All My Love, Darlene, Ozone Baby got a little more contemporary. When we did Track Wearing and Tearing, which came out on Coda, we did it in '79, and we wanted to put it out as a single on a different label, putting it down by different artists, just to stick it out alongside the Damned and Sex Pistols and all that, because it was so vicious, you know, and so emphatically fresh. And I mean, it could have, if you hadn't known it was us, it could have been anybody at all that was young and virile and all the things that we then were supposed not to be.
Right. Wow. Just briefly, could you talk about the first record, the first Zeppelin record, which I thought was a real magical moment. I mean, I think that was a pretty vicious kind of record.
Yeah, it was just a coming together, you know. I mean, just as Pictures at 11 is a lot smoother and a lot more kind of sophisticated, if you like. The qualities of Led Zeppelin 1 can never be touched, never be matched, never be equalled, and it cannot be anymore, you know. But nevertheless, it was a great gelling of all that talent. It was like, just really like a jam.
Was it?
Well, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
basically. Things like How Many More Times and Dazed and Confused were really just extensions of how well we actually fit it together, you know.
Wow.
And the crescendos in Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You and things like that, they were just, you know, they were off the wall, but brought in,
Yeah.
so that they made some sense. It's a long time ago. I mean, I'm never going to touch that point again.
Right.
Can't possibly do that. But I mean, if I can take Reckless Love and Stranger Here Than Over There further out, then I'll be doing myself proud. You know? You see, bands like Moby Grape and Arthur Lee's Forever Changes, that Love album, that sort of thing, where you get these tangents. I mean, if anybody ever decries the importance of American West Coast music, I've been waffling on about it for years and years and years, and I mean, it had its moments when it was really experimental and great, and drug-induced it may have been, but these are clean days for me. But I can remember, I've got a good memory, and I can lean this way or that. I'm not leaning on Willie Dixon right now, you know.
So those bands were influences in some of these tunes?
No, it was just the mood that I remember getting off on, you know. These moods were really important. They weren't really songs like Expecting to Fly by Buffalo Springfield and
a long version of
Bluebird.
Exactly.
I know, well, there you are, you see. I mean, there was so much content in those songs, so much sort of expression. And I mean, that's why Other Arms is a tease, because it's bland, it just trucks right the way through. It's a poor man's Eye of the Tiger, if you like, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the album doesn't begin until In the Mood starts, and that's why it fades up. You know, I mean, there's Other Arms, everybody goes, oh, great radio, and Atlantic Records are going, this is it. And I can hear everybody in the country. It was the most played record for 3 weeks in the United States 2 months ago, or a month ago. And they were all going, this is it. I said, no, big log, isn't it? No, because, I mean, repetition is, again, you have to be careful. If you lean on the 60s, the early 60s, lean gently, you know. And if you're going to hang into a musical mood, then when you must be very delicate with whatever sort of roots that you choose to dominate.
Exactly.
You know. And success is a great thing, but compromise is something else. Look, there is this to me still,
right.
And if you never thought I had anything to do with the Kashmirs of this world, and you thought that all I did was write the lyrics to Going to California, I'll have a listen to this. And I sort of stood back and went, you know. So I guess there was an amount of asserting myself, right, as far as the public was concerned. But all these things are minuscule to everybody else. They're just important to me. Where I used to be part of a very big band, and now I just want to make my point. And then I'll sit on my arse for a few months and start writing again.
Did you think you would be the first one after Zeppelin broke up to come out with a record?
Well, Jimmy came out with the first record, but
yeah, but
a soundtrack.
Really, yeah, but not really.
No, he said emphatically that he didn't want it to be considered a solo album, but nevertheless it had great moments.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know, I never even thought about it. I mean, it's the last thing in the world you think of, really. I mean, it just happened that after the Honey Drippers, as the Honey Drippers were progressing, if you like, if you can ever progress playing Gene Vincent stuff, because Gene did it better than anybody else, I just wanted to express myself again, and so it was time to get on with it.
Have Jimmy and John Paul heard the records?
Well, Jimmy was really proud of me and pleased for me, and it was very emotional between the two of us. Always will be. Jonesy thought I could have done a lot better.
Really?
With the first album, he said, well, I thought you could have done something a little bit better than that old chap. So So I said, well, thank you. I'm yet again, I'm just the singer of the songs, you know. I think Jimmy's now got the bit between his teeth. I think he's ready to do something. He's worked with a lot of different people, but I guess for a guitarist it's that much harder to actually say this is it, this is the right combination, because he's already done it once and he lived for it, and he was really the master of Led Zeppelin. I was just chief whip, as they say, you know. I just kind of brought it all together when people faded here or there, you know. It was really a catalytic situation for me. I just sort of tried to gel everybody together, because I'm not as such a musician, so I could see it from another angle, you know. That's why it's been easier for me to do what I'm doing now. You know, I don't have any bones in telling people I don't like what they do, and I don't have any bones in going and finding other people, you know. I mean, everybody has to continue and be stimulated, and there's no point in compromise right now.
Great.
Okay, great. Nice one.
Thank you very much.
Well, I can go shopping, I suppose.
Yeah? What are you going to buy?
I'll have a look in the blues.